Welcome back, everybody, for episode 2. I'm here with Jack Heald, and we're getting ready to discuss exactly what a brand identity is supposed to do. In the last episode, we really touched on what a brand or branding is, and then really went on a little bit of a talk track about brand identity and kind of the importance and where the misconception is. So now we really wanted to talk a little bit about what it's supposed to do, kind of that why behind your identity, or making sure it's important to establish that. And I know, Jack, you had a couple points that we talked on briefly earlier that, starting with your end goal, I think was probably the most powerful thing I heard you say in order to know where to start.
Right. Branding tends to be such a fuzzy exercise. One of the things that I always try to do is ask, what is the end goal? Stephen Covey famously said, begin with the end in mind. For me, the end goal, the whole purpose of engaging in any kind of branding exercise is very simple. I want to turn my customers into fanatically loyal customers who buy from me again and again for the rest of their lives. And that will do two things. It will increase the lifetime value of every customer that I have, and it will drive down the cost of every sale. It'll drive down the cost of lead acquisition. If that's why we're doing the branding exercise. We're not doing it because we want to make sure that we've got a consistent logo on all of our letterhead. That's not the why. The why, the end result, the goal is a higher lifetime value of every customer, lower cost of sale, lower cost of lead. So that's to me, we have to start there. And then you ask the question, how does whatever we're working on help us accomplish that goal? And I find oftentimes that a lot of folks who work on branding they don't really know exactly why we're doing this, or worse, they do know why they're doing it, and their reasons have nothing to do with what I just said, increasing the lifetime value of a customer and lowering your costs.
And I think just to touch on that too, is a lot of professionals, or I like to call them idea generators, they like to focus on that idea and how great that idea is. And, the main thing that they want to continue to present is, hey, I have this awesome device. Look at this device. All these things this device does. This is how you should use this device, or why you should use it, and how it's better than all other devices. And I think really that cognitive aspect of branding that we keep trying to touch on is that emotional sense of, well, why should I invest in you as a brand? Apple, for example, if they weren't a worldwide amazing brand at technology, would people be buying their phone? Or, look at Cricket. I don't even know if they develop phones. I don't really care, because Apple satisfies my need in that aspect. I'm not looking anywhere else. And I think even taking it a step further is, I was just thinking as you were talking that, like that Wolf on Wall Street example where the guy's trying to sell the pen. And I think the biggest problem with branding now can be summed up in that response to where, hey, write this down, meaning you need a pen, so you take my pen. And that, I'm sorry, that pisses me off, because you shouldn't position your brand, or your entity for that matter, based on what somebody else needs right now. I get that works, but what we're trying to do right now is drive that loyalty and establish the why. What is your branding supposed to do to the consumer to make them believe in you as a solution to their need, not necessarily a need for their need, or
right. Right. I think I hear you saying pretty much the same thing I'm saying. Is we're not just looking at the surface need of the market, because frankly, those surface needs will change day to day, week to week, month to month. We're wanting to dig down under the surface and find out what are the unchangeables of this market, and how can we create a brand that addresses for the market those things that will never change. I just read this a couple of weeks ago. Jeff Bezos talks about building a company based on things that will not change 10 years from now. Nobody knows what is going to change, but there are many things that we know will not change. We know human nature will be the same 10 and 15 and 20 and 30 years and 100 years from now as it is right now. So we want to create brands that focus on those unchangeable aspects of human nature. And we know that there are some things about us as humans, both cognitively and emotionally, that haven't changed for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and that aren't going to change anytime soon. And if we can focus our brands to appeal to those things that do not change, then we don't have to go through this exercise every couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe going down a rabbit trail there a little bit, but again, the whole purpose of branding is to create a higher lifetime customer value, lower costs of sale, lower costs of lead acquisition for the rest of your life.
Because everybody knows they're chasing acquisition rates.
Yeah.
That's the most expensive aspect of your business. Ask any startup, is just gaining that traction. I mean, basically what I'm doing right now. And I think being able to position myself differently from traditional branding is really a tutorial in itself, because I'm not looking to align myself with the basic needs that people tend to look for. I'm trying to distance myself or ourselves with being able to take things a step further and be more efficient with the actual process. And what does creating a brand identity, what is that supposed to do? Explaining that to business owners that, don't even know that and don't understand the power of that is definitely valuable. And we understand that.
Yep, absolutely.